Well, hello there. We're going to try this camera review thing again. This time we're going to do one that's a little bit more obscure, I'd say. Sure as hell not as plentifully made as the last one we did, the Zorky 1. Because, the commies just pump those motherfuckers out. This is the Perfex DeLuxe. Yeah, look at that. Now, this is fun history for you. The same as the Perfex 55, except for the Perfex 55 had the machined body, where this is the stamped fucking Amana refrigerator looking super dope, cool, polish it up, awesome finish that will tarnish. I know because I just polished it. It will tarnish. These cameras were made in Chicago. This one I think is a 48 or 49, so same hometown, same vintage as the Tucker cars. But why I picked it up, this was allegedly the American answer to the Contacts, and stop right there, and I just want to say, bullshit. Bullshit. It's not. The Contacts is a much more ergonomically friendly camera than this, much more modern, and it built 1,000 times better. Not to dock these, but as we're about to see, this one don't fully chooch anymore. So where to start with these? Okay, well, here is something interesting. I have had this apart several times, and I cannot get my focus in perfect calibration. And I don't know if it's just because I suck and fucking fail at repair manuals. I had no problems getting my Zorkies back. I got my Voigtlander Bessa R2A back, but this motherfucker keeps evading me. And maybe it's just because the finders are so dark, which we'll deal with that later. But interesting too, we'll go into features. Look at that hot shoe, folks. Holy Christ. Look at that thing. Yeah. So I have never seen the proprietary flash unit these guys claim they made for these things. If you have one, I want to see it. It's also to say too, they made a 51.8, I believe, or 50 F2. Someone bust me on it. I'm probably not remembering it right. But I have never seen that either. But I have the 52.8 on there, which I thought was pretty fucking impressive for its age. And not being made in Germany, being made in Chicago, Illinois, where Tootsie Rolls are made now. And the Aperture still moves in there, if you can see that. Probably, maybe not. There it is. Cool. And actually, we'll take a look at that because it has a was it 38? It's not the 39. It's not a typical thread mount. It's like a millimeter smaller than the LTM mount. So we'll take a look in there. And yeah, just even looking inside of there, it's a weird looking kind of deal going on. Like, why is that cheap white fence paint stuff being used on that clip in there? What in the hell was thought about with that? So there's your lens mount, as you can see. There, and we'll Aperture. Oh. Nice blades. I haven't counted them, so no factoid on that bitch. Put it back on, nice and simple. Maybe. Got a focusing scale that runs off the little stopper down there so you know where you're at. Really is a post-war dream, isn't it? And then, coming around, here's where things get really interesting. Besides this big-ass rewind knob that has a button to rewind on the front that's stiffer than wedding dick. I mean, that's probably 20 pounds to get that thing down. I don't know, it's probably more like 4 or 5, but it's ridiculous. And then it wants to play Leica. If you cock it, look at that, your shutter speed dial turns. But then when you fire it, it doesn't. Wow. Shutter speeds, let's talk about that. 25th, 50th, 100th, 200th, 500th, and 1250th because Contacts did it. S, slow shutter speed. We'll try that. The slow shutter speed on this thing does not chooch. It appears the only ones that have worked on this from my experience are going to be 25 through a 500th. 125th is fucked. I don't know if it's capping or what it's doing, but it's just not working. And we'll take the lens back off and pull the back in a bit so you can see all that going on there. And I don't want to diss this camera. I'm sure when this camera was new, like if you bought this, because I probably would have bought this instead of a Contax in the day because I'm cheap and I couldn't have afforded a Contax. But this would have looked close enough specification wise, and I would have gave it a go because I'm cheap. So yeah, let's see what's going on with the slow shutter thing. That's gonna be cute. So you'll cock it, put it to the S setting. Jesus, that's stiff. And then once you've set your slow shutter up here, so 1 second, you have to turn that winder. And let's see if I got this order of operation right. We'll do a 1 second exposure. Yeah. Listen to that old thing try to struggle through. And we'll just cock it back and then pull it to like a 50th because I like to leave my stuff somewhere around there. And because OCD. Later on, of course, as with last time, I'll get you a shot through the focusing finder and then one through the actual viewfinder itself. Because again, 2-finder deal. There's your focusing ones. There. One of those cute fucking Agfa C3 brick camera bastard things where you got the green screen and the white one. And then you got your regular viewfinder. So on the back, focusing, and you can just see through there like, oh my god, that's disgustingly green. And then there's that. Now this looks calibrated at infinity, so I'm wondering if it's the fact that sometimes it looks like you're ghosting and sometimes you're lining up those two images in this not like a normal rangefinder thing. Again, it's like an Agfa, or Agfa, what am I saying? Fuck me. It's like an Argus C3 when you're looking through it. Argus, not Agfa, Argus C3 when you're looking through it with the focusing. So I wonder if that's part of it, if I'm just missing it, because it is a son of a bitch to focus in this black hole. So let's pull the back off with our friendly instructions on the bottom. Open, close. And again, I'm really not hating on this thing. This is a beautiful camera. Mine is pretty worn out, but it's not very user-friendly, even compared to contemporaries of that era. And so we pull this big refrigerator door off the back. And why the hell that pressure plate is polished like that, I don't know. Maybe these people that designed this just really liked flaring and shit. Take up spool. Good luck finding these. Never lose one. That's came with the camera, right? So there's your shutter plane back there and your serial number conveniently hidden. I'm not a douchebag. I'm not going to censor that. I don't think you're going to try to steal my stuff and claim it was really yours. So we'll give her a cock. There we go. Cloth shutter. All right. So look at that. She works. And we have that goofy clip in the bottom there that catches to put your film back on. So we'll get this all reassembled before my fat fucking finger goes through the shutter. That'd be cute. I'll put that back together. Oh, brass gears. So, on the Never Ready case, the condom. And here's another thing. You're missing it, but if I set this on my desk, it nosedives every time. Like it needed a foot or something. Fuck. So it comes with this beautiful, not even leather, Naugahyde 1940 stuff. This I was a little disappointed in. For 40s, I thought it was going to be cool. And this was, to me, like cheap 70s shit. So maybe it was just ahead of its time. Open it up, though. Purple Crush, or is that Blue Crush? Royal Blue? I don't know. Color balance is off. My eyes suck. Even though I play with cameras. Here is my biggest bitch with this motherfucker. So, despite the fact that it's hard to focus with, some of the shutter speeds don't work, which obviously are just age-related issues at this point. The shutter speed, at least. To put this camera in this condom, you have this hole here, which this little fucking screw goes through. Okay? Go in there, and I'm sure you could get yourself a replacement or whatever if you wanted, or go to the hardware store, rig something up. But how inconvenient is that? It doesn't snap around, there's nothing built into the case that holds it, you have to use a little fucking doohickey. And this, by the way, is like aluminum, or aluminium, as they'll call it. Okay, it's kind of it's they did. There's a little nipple there where they got lazy with some machine work or something. You might not be able to see it, but I mean, it's not solid. You'll strip these threads. These things are not skookum. You'll strip these things like a motherfucker. But all that being said, I don't want to come off as hating this thing. If you get a chance to get one, get one. But don't pay a lot of money for it. I mean, it's probably going to be a shelf piece. It's going to be a conversation piece. It's going to be, you'll run a few rolls of film through it. Maybe you'll have more luck than me, probably. Mine's just worn the hell out. But I wouldn't drop more than like 15, 20 bucks on this. Honestly, if you want to go with this vintage of a camera, and I would either maybe get one of the 55s, because some people say they're more robust, and they have the dumb little light meter filter plastic film thing that you can see through and you read the number, and they're built like a brick shit house and they're cast. I mean, you want to carry around 20 pounds of camera, don't you? That's convenient. But honestly, if you want to go with something to this vintage, and you don't want to spend a lot of money on Leica contacts, any of that stuff, Zeiss, which is contacts, just get a goddamn Argus C3. It's going to be a little slower lens, but there's all kinds of instructions out there how to calibrate. Apparently people have more luck recalibrating their Argus C3s than I have with my Perfex DeLuxe. But, yeah, it's just hard to use, and it doesn't seem real reliable. But I'm sure there's someone out there that has a great story about them, and they loved it. And I'm sure back in the day it was a really fun machine to use. It's still beautiful. I'm glad I have it in my collection just because it fucking looks cool. It's made in America, and I've gotten like a couple good exposures, good shots off of it. So that's all I got for you. That's too much blabbing, too much bitching. Don't come off as me thinking I hate this thing. It's really fun. I wish it worked better. Maybe someday I won't be cheap, and I'll send and have it CLA'd. And then I'll make another video telling you guys all how you should throw away your Contaxes and throw away your Leicas and hit them with the hammer, because you only need one of these. Have a good night.